The graduation requirements have not changed for you guys. So 4 English, 4 math, 3 science, 1 US history, 1 half government, 1 half econ, 1 other social studies. That's typically your world geography, your world history, maybe your psychology, sociology, any of those classes, that other social studies credit. A world language or a career and technical education class, a PE or ROTC credit, a computer science credit, and then the balance of that 24 required with 7 electives. So in addition, the four-year colleges, they require you to have that diploma, but then they also say, well, some of those credits, like, you got to have the Englishes, you got to have 4 maths, but of those 4 maths, they've got to be specific math classes. So those 4 maths have to be Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and then 1 higher level math, 1 math higher than Algebra 2. So that's typically pre-cal, probability and statistics, discrete math, anything above Algebra 2. Then you also have to have 3 units of lab sciences. This is one we get a lot of questions on because physical science is a science. It is not a lab science. So physical science does count for the 3 you have to have for graduation. However, it is not a lab science, so it does not count in the 3 sciences that colleges will accept for you to be admitted. The 3 you have to have are they're in their biology, a chemistry, and then maybe a physics or a biology 2 or earth science or marine biology, any of those classes that have biology or chemistry as a prerequisite. Those are ones that count towards those lab sciences that the colleges will accept. Most of our science classes here are lab sciences. I think physical science may be the only one. So you're safe if you've got 3 sciences in addition to or other than physical science. So 2 units of a world language. Now a graduation requirement, you just have to have a world language or a career and technology class. But the colleges say, yeah, we want you to have those career classes, but we need you to have that world language. And not only do you have to have 1, but you got to have 2. Some colleges require 3, so it's your responsibility to check those requirements at those colleges you're planning to attend to make sure you know how many of these credits you need to have. The colleges require you to have 1 fine arts elective. That could be a band credit, dance, an art credit. If you took something on virtual SC, they have like a music appreciation and art appreciation. Any of those will count. Orchestra, theater, those count as a fine arts elective. And then you have to have 2 units of academic electives. So that's 2 courses in addition to those that have already been listed. So that could be an extra computer science. Maybe if you're doing a 5th English or a 5th math, that can count. An additional social studies or an extra year of fine arts. Any of those that are extra academic electives, those count in that. So it's really important that you understand it's your responsibility to check with the colleges. So the Commission on Higher Ed has approved these classes. They've told the colleges these are the credits that students need to have to be able to be admitted to your college. The college can add on to those. So check to make sure you're not missing anything. And this is specific to South Carolina schools. So if you're planning to apply somewhere out of state, then you really need to make sure you check those requirements and make sure that you're not missing anything that state school requires. So now's the time to really start looking at that stuff so that you're not missing out. So each of you have a transcript, and those transcripts they've been uploaded to Parchment, and they look a little different when they're electronic, and we'll talk about Parchment in just a second. But you need to make sure you look at your transcript because everything pulls from PowerSchool that prints on your transcript. And this is what we send to the colleges with your applications. So you're going to want to make sure that before your IGP, you're going to pull a copy of your transcript from Parchment, and you're going to look at all of the information on there. You're going to look at your name and how it's spelled. Make sure it's spelled correctly because the way it's spelled in PowerSchool is how it's going to be printed on your diploma, and we have to match that to your birth certificate. So you're going to need to make sure that everything is spelled correctly, your date of birth is correct. When people enter those things, sometimes they get fat fingers and might mess something up, but make sure it's correct. Ask questions if you don't think something's right. We can explain it. So everything on on your transcript, it shows all of the courses that you've taken for high school credit. So some of you may have middle school classes on there as well. Some of you, if you transferred from a different school, those are going to be on there. And then it's also going to show the courses you're taking this year. It's going to have 2 GPAs on there. One is the weighted GPA, and one is an unweighted. The only GPA we ever report is that weighted GPA. We hardly ever use the unweighted unless it's specifically asked for that. So the weighted GPA is the one that when we talk about state scholarships, talk about Palmetto Fellows, or we talk about Life, Hope, any of those that require that minimum GPA, that's on the weighted scale, and that is a 4.0 weighted scale. So you also have your rank on your transcript and the total number of credits attempted and total credits earned. So you want to make sure that those all look right when you look at your transcript. All transcripts go through Parchment, and it's amazing. This colleges get it super fast. We are not going to mail any transcripts, and we also don't print hard copies of transcripts. So make sure that you're requesting all transcripts through Parchment. You should have received an email sometime over the past 3 years, and you've actually received several of them because we typically go through, and anybody who has not set up their account yet, we generate another reminder to them. But inside that email is a link that you just need to click and complete your account setup. So we've got your information already uploaded to Parchment. You just have to go in and complete that setup. So if you have not set yours up yet, just go in your email and search the word Parchment, and I guarantee you a Parchment email will pop up. Once you get your account set up, you're going to go in and say you're applying to 4 different colleges. You can go ahead, even if you haven't started those applications yet, you can go ahead and order all 4 transcripts at the same time, and we'll send those all at the same time. So you should not be charged a fee. Make sure that when you get to the end that it does not charge you anything, because as a student that lives in the state of South Carolina, the state has a contract with Parchment so that you don't have to pay a fee for any of your transcript deliveries until after you graduate. So that's going to be important, because when we're going to tell you, when we're hounding you later to make sure you request your final transcript early, that's so you don't have to pay for it after you graduate. So once you're considered an alumni, then you have to pay to have your transcript sent anywhere. So you're going to want to take care of that, but we are going to harass you about that a whole lot towards the end of the school year. So anytime you've ordered a transcript, you can go back in your account and you can check to see when that college received it. So all you have to do is log back in, track your order, or check the status of my order, and it'll tell you when that college received it. That's really helpful after you've submitted those applications, and then you may get an automatic email from the college saying, hey, don't forget to send your transcript. Well, that'll cause a little bit of anxiety because you'll think, oh my gosh, I've already done that. But for them to be sending me this email, maybe they haven't gotten it yet. Well, they probably have, but they're just sending that auto email to remind you. You can log into Parchment, see that you've already sent it, see that they've already received it, and then all anxiety is gone. In May, you're going to go in, we're going to tell you about this again, but you'll request a final transcript so that that's going to go to the college that you'll be attending. You'll request it and you'll put hold for grades, because if you tell it to send right then, it's going to send the same transcript that's in there right now, because we won't update transcripts again until June. We've got the ones for right now in there, but the next set will go up in June. So At some point, you're going to need to change your email address to a personal email. You're going to use Parchment even in college. Most colleges use Parchment to send their transcripts. So you're going to need to have access to that after graduation. Your Lexington One email is only going to be active for about a week or two after you graduate. So you're going to have to make sure that you change that email address in Parchment to one of your personal email addresses. If you're a student athlete and you need one sent to NCAA initial eligibility, you also need to request one through Parchment to be sent to them if you have set up your initial eligibility account. Now, if you go through your emails and you've searched for Parchment and you don't find one at all, then you need to let us know, because something could have happened, and we can go through and look to see where your account is, or what the problem may be. We've had some issues in the past with transcripts being sent before an account was set up, and so then it deactivates your account. So we can help you go through that process to get that set back up. But let your counselor know, or come by and let Miss Farah know, and we'll get you in touch with the people to fix that.